Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Return Policy. Today I'm doing a mini review on the MEO Protective Case for the Nintendo Switch. That includes a cool little gimmick that allows you to store your cartridges in the little palm rests. First and foremost, I wanted to give a shout out to a comment I received quite a ways back actually recommending this case. And so lo and behold, the impulse got to me and I picked this one up from Amazon.com. So I kind of want to give my 2 cents on why a lot of folks, they tend to not enjoy the handheld use with just the Joy-Cons attached to the Nintendo Switch. And my theory is the Nintendo Switch combined with just the Joy-Cons definitely feels thin. And with my kind of giant hands, they definitely do, and they could feel either cramped or uncomfortable at a certain amount of time. And over these plenty of reviews, I went through all these different kinds of cases and accessories that's supposed to alleviate a lot of the uncomfortableness for your Joy-Cons while you're using them on handheld mode, or even if you detach them, they might actually make it feel better while you're using that instead of the Pro Controller. And while I think the Pro Controller really is a really good controller, there are sometimes I just kind of prefer that more laid-back kind of style of control. And I kind of really enjoyed playing Super Mario Odyssey with just a regular Joy-Con. And so as I was saying, with all these accessories that I was playing with, trying out, and eventually reviewing, I found out that the use of the Joy-Cons was a lot more comfortable and more fun to use with anything that kind of makes the hand grips either slightly thicker or better to hold, as well as these little thumb grips that you can put right on top of the actual joysticks compared to the joysticks that are on the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller ones are really, really good and much better, but I kind of like having these little extra thumb grips that you can put on top of the Nintendo Switch, the Joy-Cons, and I thought they made them feel just as good. So here's the packaging for the MEO Protective Case for the Switch, and so I just kind of wanted to show it off, what it looks like once you get it in your order. Here is everything that it comes with, including, of course, the protective case itself, a set of gray ergonomic kind of palm rests, as well as your complimentary neon blue and neon red ones, just to match what the Nintendo Switch was currently selling. The texture of the back of the protective case is actually quite nice. It's kind of a not so much rough, not too glossy, kind of that kind of nice in between. And so I was really testing out the durability of the palm rests. And so I would try and kind of pop it in there, put it halfway through, see how quickly it would be if you kind of shook the case, even with the Switch in it, and if those palm rests would fly out, including the cartridge in there as well. I'm happy to say that the cartridge definitely stays put inside the palm rest, and while you have to be pretty negligent to put the palm rest not all the way through, there's just those two little kind of inserts that you see, and you kind of push it through and then you're good to go. And once it's in there, it's pretty stuck in there. It's not too bad at all. Only on the extreme measures when I tried to pull the palm rest out halfway and then kind of wiggle the case with the Switch, without the Switch, and I was able to get the palm rest to pop out or to fall out. But like I said, it was only under the kind of extreme cases where my goal was to get it to pop out. But if you kind of followed its own directions and push them all the way in, you shouldn't have any trouble of them accidentally popping out. So here I am trying to put on the case itself, and I wanted to kind of show the ease of use, as well as probably the only smaller minor complaint that I had with this one here. And I was trying to follow instructions both on the Amazon listing and just looking at photos, and popping it in there was pretty easy. The best way I found out was inserting it from the bottom first and then kind of wedging it through to the top where the L and R buttons reside. And while getting it on there wasn't that difficult at all. I probably had most of the trouble trying to take the case back off, especially if you wanted to put it back into the dock, or take the Joy-Cons out for some kind of a multiplayer on the go on the table. So you'll notice along the top where the L and R buttons, there's this kind of a thin strip of durable plastic that wedges in between the front and the back of the Joy-Con section, and when I was trying to kind of remove the case, as durable as that case is, it did put up a decent fight. So I was trying to find the best way to remove the case, either from the bottom, from the sides, even right using the top part. So I tried different methods. Each one was more successful than the last. I think the most successful one that I've done is probably removing it from the side and then trying to shimmy the rest of it off. I want to show a comparison of the MEO case with the cool little mesh bag that it comes with, little carrying case. It's kind of big for my taste, but you can probably slip in maybe a cable. I don't know if you want to put in the Pro controller or anything, or even the Nyko portable dock, but it does give a lot of space to play with. Say if you even want to put in the cartridges or an extra game in there. And so lastly, I just kind of wanted to compare it with the Mamba Rugged case, which is my current favorite that I like using for on the go, or just something for traveling, or just around the house. It's still just as rugged. It is still just as Mamba. And I still like it. It does not have that kind of strip along the top of the Joy-Con corners where the L and R buttons reside. And so for me, removing the case felt a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward, popping it out. And if you kind of compare taking the Mamba case, removing the Mamba case versus the MEO case, it was usually that kind of little plastic strip that I had to retrain my brain and say, all right, make sure these clear first so I can pop this one out, and then I could remove that. And so here on the video, I just kind of wanted to show it just from a perspective. And as always, it's all just personal preference. I mean, you can definitely find your method that works better, and I just kind of wanted to show what I was trying to accomplish. So in the end, was I happy with using the MEO protective case with my Nintendo Switch? Absolutely. I thought the ergonomic grips that you could use on the sides, both for gray or with the traditional neon blue and neon red kind of replaceable kind of grips. I really like the feel of it. It actually has a very nice texture along the back, and it is protective to that certain degree. And my main comparison was my current two favorites, which are the PDP armor guards as well as the Mamba Rugged case that I love taking with me wherever I go. I wanted to compare those two together. So overall, aesthetically, it's pleasing. The gimmick works. The ergonomics feels good. I kind of wish the logo for the MEO wasn't too on there, but that's just nitpicky details. It is quite protective. It goes all the way around, even though I do have just a small little complete where this is kind of thin, about right here. And so although it might be a little difficult to put it on and take it off, say if you want to use it in dock mode, eventually I think you'll find a routine or a method to put your Nintendo Switch on this case smoothly after a couple of tries, and not struggle as much as I did when I first got it, hoping I won't break my Joy-Cons out of the Switch while trying to wedge this guy in. All in all, if you ran into this review first before you got to see the Mamba Rugged review that I did, the Rugged case review that I did previously, they're two very good cases. I think you would probably make a good choice going either way. And since relatively I paid the same price for both of them, about $19.99, if you do choose this one, good. I think this one is a keep it. Also, if you run across the Mamba Rugged case as well too, that one I really liked. And if you saw my previous review, I also said keep it for that one too. It all comes down to personal preference, and like I said, I'm a sucker for gimmicks, and this one does have cool gimmicks. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this mini review of mine for the MEO Protective Case with cool little cartridge holding gimmick. If you thought this was informative for both this review or the Mamba Rugged case, go ahead and hit that like button. That's cool. If you thought, I could do with a better case or I got something better and cheaper, that's cool. Go ahead and hit that dislike button. That's fine as well. And I do plan to stay around for the semi-long run, making as many of these mini review videos as I can. If you're so inclined, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That'd be super helpful. And once again, I just want to say thanks again for taking the time to watch these mini reviews of mine, and I'll see you next time.